We back.
Yeah!
All right, Malcolm. I've been wanting to watch this for a while, so let's just get into it.
Wait,
Get this out the way.
The suicide survivors think the same.
Yep. Ready, Malcolm?
Serious note.
Might as well, right? Got a whole bunch of funny bullshit at the end anyway. Ready?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Malcolm, do all suicide survivors think the same?
This shit gonna get demonetized.
Oh yeah, definitely. YouTube don't want to hit none of this shit. YouTube don't want to hit none of this. I really want to watch this when I saw it. I know it's a sensitive issue, of course, but I really want to see it because when I saw it, because I'm a suicide survivor, whatever the case is. Mm-hmm. So, and of course, I'm pretty sure I don't think the same as everybody else because I know some people when I was going through like the little rehabs and whatever the case is, like some people just kept trying to do it and it wasn't their first time and shit like that.
Yeah.
Whatever the case is. My opinion, it was my first time, and I thought that was probably the stupidest shit I ever did in my life. And the way I did it, I'd never want to do it again because I down like these 4 or 5 like bottles of some type of fucking pills or some shit like that, and I had to drink some black shit. Cause I didn't even go to like a real hospital when I did the shit. I went to the county.
Oh, you went to the?
Yeah, I went to the county, and the county transferred me to some like mental ward hospital. I don't know what the fuck the hospital is. Like to this day, I still don't know what the fuck it was. But I went from the crib to the county to whatever the hospital was. But they made me drink some black shit. Shit tasted like, what's that shit that the dinosaurs died in? Like the black tar or something.
Tar.
If I had an ideal of what like black tar it was or whatever the case is, that's exactly what the fuck it felt like. My nigga, like that's serious that they made me drink. But I just felt like it was probably the stupidest shit I ever did in my life. And it probably wasn't even because of my like. I don't want to say it was stupid just because I got family, friends, and everything like that. Mm-hmm. It was just a dumbass decision because, like, at the end of the day, when I did leave there, though, like, I really had a peace of mind and, like, a different look on life. Like, that's why, despite what y'all get from YouTube or what the case is in my comments, I'm actually really a positive person. Like, I really don't like bad. No, I really don't like bad energy and shit like that. Like, I'm really, like, a good energy type I'm really an energy type of person, low-key, at the end of the day. So I had a real different look of life because when I was in there, we didn't have a TV. It was no TV, no phones,
no nothing,
no anything.
Yeah,
I had a bedtime. I was on some type of medication that stopped making my dick work. Not like getting hard, but I wouldn't come. That was the most frustrating shit in the world, my nigga.
He's like, I got this extra.
And I was like, this is like good in the right situation, but I'm trying to bust this off. So it wasn't good. I was on like medication, like all type of shit, my nigga. And I don't even remember like what the medication was. I saw like a counselor there, like probably like 3 or 4 times the whole time I was there or some shit like that. I was there for like a week or 2. Mm. But after all that shit, I already know that was the worst decision I ever made in my life, just like based off everything along with the case is. But yeah. But I want to see this video. And it's not even just because I want to see like what everybody else is thinking. I just want to see like everybody else's experience and shit like that and everything like that. So that's what I want to see. So I've been holding this one in for like this whole week of the case is. But yeah, let's see. Starting at 3, 2, 1.
That's cool. They got all the hotlines there.
Mm-hmm. That's also why I can't listen to Logic song, that 1-800 song.
Yeah.
I cry every time I listen to this song.
Yeah.
DADS.
I get Terry too.
I cry.
I got one guy. I was gonna say, ain't no cops.
There's like 2. I think 1, 2. The media accurately portrays hell no. Fuck no. That shit is for TV. That's the only reason why.
I don't think it does all the time, especially because there's so many things that can happen with any sort of mental illness, which makes it then a problem when you're trying to explain it to someone because they think, oh, like in 13 Reasons Why, and it's not always like that.
No.
sometimes they romanticize suicide and depression in media, and it's kind of like a weird balancing act because there's some mental illnesses that are like seen as trendy or attractive, like anxiety or depression.
And like especially with Twitter and stuff like that, everybody's like talking about it, everybody's retweeting about it. It's not a trend. It's an actual issue that people live with every single day. The media doesn't portray like people like myself. I'm a Black lesbian woman, and I've dealt with depression for a very long time. I've had suicidal thoughts. I've attempted it. So for me to not have that representation, it's kind of hard for me to relate to it.
Well, I think that the media, it doesn't portray it correctly, but I also think that they're on the way up. It's not good now, but it's getting better, I think.
It's media. Fuck no. Everybody's doing something for some likes, some hearts, to be trending.
Yeah, but like you said,
but there are some people. There are some people.
We just mentioned Logic. That's like good representation.
But
like,
there are some people like if you could tell like by a person depending on like if they like some big ass YouTuber, and now they just started talking about mental health like 2-3 videos ago, but they've been on YouTube for 5-6 fucking years. They've never said anything about this, or like they're never expressing some shit like that. Like sometimes like some shit like that, you can show it's like kind of trendy or what the case is. But it is some people out there that have been talking about mental health and everything like that. Because I suffer from depression and anxiety and shit like that. Like my depression will do like that, and my anxiety it'll come like that and then it go away like that. But my anxiety is like always there. Like my mind goes 1,000 places at once all the fucking time.
Me and my depression, like I'll like I go in like deep, like dark deep, like fucking like your soul is in a dark room, abyss deep.
Oh yeah,
like
I sit in the dark for like hours.
Yeah.
If you give me the chance, and if it's that type of day or some shit like that, and I have like nothing to look forward to, like probably say everything is like probably going on a down spiral or some shit like that. Oh, I'll sit in the dark for like a week. If you give me the fucking chance to, like for real, like it's not the best. Like I know it, like some shit, like some of the shit ain't the healthiest, and I hope nobody takes like my laughter or no shit like that, like in a bad way. But that's how I deal with the fuck I deal with. So take it how you want to take it. But like on a bad week or some shit like that, I will sit in the dark. I don't give a fuck. I really will. So that's just how I like handle with some of my shit. But like it just all depends on what the situation is. But in media, unless it's like somebody that's been like advocating that shit for a minute or some shit like that. A lot of that shit is just for show, for likes and shit like that. Cause
that's why I say it depends. Like I'm with you on that. It depends on the person and stuff because they're. I could say it like before. It was like mainly, I guess, a joke and like people like TV shows and stuff. They would always do it and like. Old girl was saying like it would always revolve around like either love or something else or something, and not like just as not just like them talking about it as like a mental illness or whatever like issue it is.
It
or
always
whatever.
Has to be something.
It always has to
be
right, and that's not the case for some people when it comes to mental health and stuff. Mm-hmm. So, well. Like that's why I'm like on the fence a little bit with the other guy. Like I think that it's half and half where like people there's that side to do that, but then there's also people like you got Logic who made the song and shit, and then you got like there's a whole bunch of and there's a whole bunch of people on like different platforms like YouTube, Twitch, that has basically like its own like community.
It just all depends on it just all depends on who you go to for your shit. Cause like you can like a person that's actually going through depression. Like that's also the thing about like mental health and like people with anxiety and depression and shit like that. Like you could tell through some people's bullshit. Yeah. Like a lot of that shit. Like if you've actually been through some shit, you probably had some suicidal thoughts or been tried to do suicide. What the case is, you can actually tell and see like something is off about that person in the way they talking about this shit. Cause it don't sound right. Because that's even like on some regular shit too. Cause like a lot of YouTube, that's probably why I don't gravitate like towards a lot of YouTubers too at the same fucking time. Cause like a lot of them is just bullshit. Like like if you like, and I don't want to say like if you're really about something, what the case is, because you don't want to really be about depression, anxiety, mental health, and shit like that. But like if you really like understand and like feel that type of shit, what the case is, like you can cut through the bullshit to see like who's real and whatever the case is, if that makes any sense. But yeah, starting at 3, 2, 1.
The first time I attempted was in middle school, and that was kind of understandable for my mom and my sister, because at that time we were going through a really nasty divorce. So when that happened in middle school, they kind of understood that that's what led to it. And then 2 years ago, I was drugged and assaulted. And that morning after I had been found, it was such a traumatic experience that my mom walked out and I was just leaning over the balcony. And I remember breaking down crying because of the fact that I thought I was gonna throw myself off of it. So I think I was fortunate enough to have a family that was very understanding of everything I was going through.
I feel like my family didn't really understand. A lot of people still don't know like what's happened in my past. I was assaulted and attempted, and I was roommates with my best friend. She didn't even know. No one knew. So I was handling it all internally, and now that they kind of know more or less, like I just wish they would have talked to me. They would have asked questions, because I was in college just all alone, dealing with it by myself, and no one knew.
In my family, my parents are both immigrants. My mom was a refugee, so everyone in my family struggled with severe mental health and PTSD, and we just never spoke about it. I think the focus was make sure you assimilate, make sure you get a good job, make sure you're surviving, make sure people see you as, an American.
My family had a really hard time even understanding that I was struggling with mental health, because they thought I was doing so well in school and I have all these friends, I'm hanging out with them all the time. How could you have depression?
I mean, I just don't talk about it with my family. I mean, when I told my sisters that I was coming on here, they're like, oh, what's it about? I was like, oh, it's called Suicide Survivors. And they're like, wait, did you? I was like,
Yeah.
That's fucked up. That's the first time they
heard about it.
Yeah, heard about it. Because
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to talk to.
It ain't the best thing to talk about, and like
especially for like our
kind of how like
culture.
Our conversation started. Like, yeah, remember that time I tried to? Yeah, you can't really just bust that type of shit out on people and shit like that too.
Yeah, not to mention that like that's one thing that I could say about African Americans. Like we
bought some shit up.
No, we tend to have this notion that like mental illness doesn't exist, and all we need is pretty much God, and that God will fix everything. And it's like there's right, because like don't get me wrong, like I'm a religious person too, but like at the same time you have to acknowledge that people need help. Like people need they need to hear other stuff than like, oh, I'm gonna go pray for you, or
gotta find a way. And
yeah, like some people don't want to hear that right now. They just want somebody to they don't want to be preached at.
No,
they just want somebody to just listen. Yeah, they just want somebody to sit there and listen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of the struggles of like in being in the African American group, because like everything's so like church based that we just like that's like in our foundation. Like, no, that mental health shit don't work. You need to go pray to God so He can fix you and get these demons and stuff. And it's like, yo, that's not, you're not helping.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. I don't know, but
what was the question? I said, does your family know?
Yeah, for me, when I had back in high school, I had my little breakdown, and I was like on the fence, just like, well, you went through with it. I was like, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to go.
I was edging.
Yeah, I was edging, and at that point, like I think, like, cause like I was still edging and I was still over the fence, and like I was going through a lot, like with like all of this pressure and stuff of like that my parents parents were putting on me about, like, you know, high school and then all the testing and stuff, and then like trying to find colleges and stuff like that, and then it's just a whole bunch of other stuff, and like all that was like building on me and like basically like piling and crushing me down and stuff, and it was just like at a point where I was just like, you know, what if I just like just cut myself or whatever, or like to just be done with it or whatever.
I never tried that, but I do like pain. It's weird.
Yeah, so
that's why I got so many fucking tattoos though.
You say you like the needles.
For some reason, I always decided that some physical pain depletes emotional pain. I don't know why I got that in my head. I don't know why, but that could be the reason why I got so many fucking tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it was hard for me trying to like explain to them, because like I told you, like, you know, the whole church background stuff, because like I was like, yo, I need to like literally just talk to somebody.
Find somebody to talk to.
And like I was able to, like, you know, do a couple sessions with like a psychiatrist and stuff.
I never actually talked to a psychiatrist until I actually got put into the fucking hospital.
Yeah, so I was like, I was a little bit on the lucky side, because like, even though I was like tottering, but like, you know, me trying to explain everything and them not listening, is just like, we just had to have like another party there. And then like, you know, when we had that other external party there just listening, you know, then they really found out like some stuff that I was like going through, but they still couldn't grasp, you know.
Yeah, they can't grasp everything.
Yeah, or understand what the fuck was actually like going on, but like, it is hard for like people to just like.
But sometimes you can't even explain. You can't probably explain like half your fucking emotions at the time and shit like that. So that's how it is. Shit. I know when I was going through my shit, I did some dumb shit. I tried to give myself pneumonia. It was like in the middle. It was like one of those one of those negative degree days, whatever the case is, and like
just walked like 3 miles, whatever.
No. In our old crib, we had the shower. Like, we got a window in the shower upstairs, whatever the case is, but it's not one that you can raise. So in the old crib, we had a shower like straight, like how I am right now, like big ass window, and I left it open. I was in the shower.
Oh, why you shower?
It was like winter. Yeah, it was like negative something there.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I tried to get myself pneumonia or something like that. I was going through it for case. But also like this is, I'm talking like, I want to say probably 4 years, maybe. I don't know. But like even way before then, like when I broke my hand at school playing football, I was fucking addicted to some fucking medicine or some shit that they gave my ass.
Some shit.
Yeah, it was some bullshit that they gave me, and all I did for like my whole second semester was sleep. I mean, I didn't go to no classes. I was just taking pills, going to sleep, taking pills, going to sleep, and it was so fucked up because I got to the point where, like, my nigga, if I had the chance to every day pretty much to stay up all night, my nigga, I would. Like, to this day, because I was sleeping so much. I got tired of fucking sleeping, my nigga. That's how bad it was. And I forgot what the fuck it was. They gave me some type of medicine or whatever the case is, but that's all it made me do. And they expected me to go through classes and do all that shit while on the medicine and shit like that, my nigga. And I was addicted to that shit too, because I would just keep taking the pill. And that's why I don't like taking pills to this day. Like, I don't like taking ibuprofen. I don't like taking Tylenol. I don't like taking Advil. I deal with the pain. I will literally deal with whatever pain just to stay away from some pills. Like, I don't even like fucking taking pills now to this day because of that shit. But yeah, I tried to get myself pneumonia, and also I tried to kill myself taking whatever fucking pills the case is, like I was saying earlier. But I don't know, it was just some dumb shit. But everybody know that was even because when I was in that hospital, that was the first time. It was a couple first times. That's the first time I ever seen my dad cry. I ain't never seen that shit. That shit hurt. That shit hurt like a motherfucker. And I never had like that type of peace of mind either, being in that like type of environment and shit like that either. But yeah, Yeah, I don't think nobody knew like that. I wasn't the type. I'm still not the type to really show emotions unless I really fucking like you and know you or some shit like that. Yeah, I'm not even that type of person though. But I'll talk your fucking ear off though. Like if you ask shit, I'm gonna give you an answer. Like unfortunately, like whether you like the answer or not, but if you ask me some shit, I'll tell your ass some shit though. But yeah. Starting in 3, 2, 1. I didn't actually want to die.
That's that fence I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Every time I go through a depressive stage, I just want someone to hold me back, and that's why I don't think I actually want to die. I want to. It's more like I want to live, but it's really hard to do that.
Every moment that passed by, I was like more and more ready to like meet my maker. I saw it as like the easiest way out. Go somewhere where no one can find me, and then I'll be all right. I don't know how I was found. You know, like somehow, some way, my friend like had a gut feeling, and then all of a sudden, like cops were like knocking on my window in my car.
I went above and beyond when I was trying to attempt. Me and my sister, she was begging me to go to the doctor to tell someone, and I was very insistent, like I don't want to. So in those moments, yeah, definitely I did want to die, but it was only because I didn't know any other solution.
I definitely wanted to end it all at the moment that I was at. I was ready to end it, and I made sure that I was in a place where nobody could find me. Thinking back to when I was sitting in that creek and everything that was going on, I'm really happy that I got up and walked away. I had kind of an epiphany when I was down there and going in and out of consciousness that my life is valuable.
I would say at that moment that I was in, I did want to die, and I haven't had a suicidal thought since then. Just going through the experience I went through, because in my head I'd be like, yeah, let's not do that again. Let's not get shipped off to a hospital again. Let's not do that. That's what I swear to God. That's everything that goes in my head. Like if I ever had like a glimpse of like a suicidal thought now, I'd be like, nah, we remember what happened last time with that shit. We don't want to do that again. And I'm just being dead ass serious. Like I'm like,
It's in your,
nah.
it's in your soul memory.
Yeah.
Like, and shit. It's like,
yeah, like, nah, I don't think we want to do that again. That shit wasn't what was up. That shit wasn't fun. So yeah, like if cause I like even if I'm down or some shit like that, if I have some bad thoughts when the case is, if it does, like maybe I might. Nah, I don't want. I don't want to do that again. Cause that shit was. Cause like I'm not gonna say it was horrible for the case is, but it was like defying. Like it was like a wake up call for the case is. Like, nah, I don't want to do that shit again. Like, nah, that was just too much. Like, took it too far. I'm good now. So like, let's just dial it back a little bit, calm down, think about it, and just let the shit go. Whatever the fuck the case is. Cause like I just be snapping like. Remember that time? No. Don't want to do that shit again. Definitely don't want to go through that shit again. That wasn't fun. That wasn't a good time. Yeah. That's what I be going through, bro. I think that should be wild. Cause I swear to God, like that should have clicked on in my head. Like, nah, let's not even think like that. we know what that ended up hitting you up last time. So yeah, that's what I be thinking in my head at least. I don't know. I'm good. I don't want no problems like that no more, man.
no, we good.
Yeah, like we good, fam. We don't want to do that. Like we just happy. Just dial it back a little bit. Calm down. Breathe. Go find somebody to talk to.
Yeah, that's why I said I was like literally on that fence, and I think talking it out where like I was like kind of saying stuff out loud made me consciously think of like
that
all the decisions and stuff that I was playing, cause like
that helped too.
Yeah, cause
like
talking out loud and like
definitely
everything instead of being inside of my own mind and stuff. I think that helped me like realize
I
that.
think that's a problem with everybody too. Like thinking inside your mind and just inside your mind, that's a dangerous fucking place.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I feel you on that. That's a good strategy. Starting in 3, 2, 1. Suicide is selfish. Depends though.
Yeah.
Depends on the moment. Depends on the situation and shit.
Situation. Yeah.
I think it is pretty selfish. It's a decision that you're making on your own. You're also not putting much consideration into your family members, your friends. And I think the effects of you killing yourself and leaving your friends and family behind could potentially lead to maybe one of them doing it. My mother, she was going through a divorce right around the time when I tried to kill myself. And she told me that she thought about it too, and that she wanted to, but she knew, like, when she saw me go through it, that she couldn't. Killing yourself could be selfish because of the other people that would be affected.
See, I get where you're coming from, but I also, for me, the first time I attempted, in my mind, that was going to be the option that would make things easier for my family. And even the second time, for me, it was what was going to make things easier because, in my mind, my family didn't want somebody that had just been drugged and assaulted. Like, that's a huge burden to be carrying. And so I didn't want to place that burden that I was going to have to go through and the financial burden of that on my family.
But I mean, look at all of us. I mean, we all thought that was our option. We thought that that was the way to go. And afterwards, we saw the benefits of actually surviving and not having to be dead.
And that's why I moved, is because I agree with everything that you said. And then I also agree with you about the family situation and about how thinking about your family and thinking about the people that love you. I recently just got reconnected with my biological father. If I would have ended my life at 16, that would have never happened. He would have found me and he would have got the horrible news like, oh yeah, your daughter committed suicide at 16. So that aspect of it does make me feel like, yes, that is selfish because there are still people who I don't even know who love me.
I agree with you saying that suicide can be selfish because it's such a huge trauma to a lot of people, but for people going through that actual moment, what I felt most frustrated about was, okay, people don't want me to die. People want me to live, but I don't know how I'm going to live because at that time, I didn't know if I could even start medical transition. And I know trans people in Korea are not even employed, so how am I even gonna get a job? I need some kind of support to continue living, but that was so hard to find.
Suicide is very selfish. It all depends too at the same time. But like I was saying, like that was the first time I seen my father cry for the case is when he came to see me in the hospital and talked to me and everything. And what else? Also, I think Junior was probably one. I don't think he probably was one. I can't really think. I'm not sure on the time.
Junior
what the case is.
Junior was in the picture then? I don't think he was.
He was.
Or
Portia brought him. Portia brought him up to the hospital.
Or you thinking about Terry?
No. It's like 3-4 years ago, my nigga. Junior's 5.
No, that was that. No, it just felt like it feels like a long time ago.
No, Junior's 5, nigga. And that was like 3-4 years ago, brother.
Wow.
Yeah, time flies. Yeah, Junior was a kid. She brought him up there and shit like that. It was a lot, but it is selfish. It also just depends on like your situation and shit like that too. At the same time, because I don't know everybody's situation, but everybody probably doesn't have any, but somebody or some shit like that. I don't know everybody's situation.
Yeah, that's why I can agree with you too, because like some people don't have anybody in general, so like it might not be in that aspect. You might not think it's selfish, but like old girl saying like she found her biological father or some shit like that, and like like you thinking at the end of the day that you don't have anybody or nobody like exists who might even remotely care about you, but then like you never know, it might be somebody out there that actually does. So I would say it is most definitely selfish because at the end of the day, you're not thinking about you're thinking about you, but you're not thinking what effects
You might have on somebody else.
on somebody else, like your decisions.
The Asian guy or the Korean guy, whatever he is, he was saying like how do he find himself, or like where did he go to in a case like that? I'm on a whole bunch of Facebook groups with ADHD, anxiety, depression, like suicide watch shit, whatever the case is. I'm like on 5 pages like that on Facebook, whatever the case is, and it's like some of them are good, some are whatever the case is, but that's just like any fucking thing that you try to join to, or whatever the case is, just find off some random shit, whatever the case is. But it just all depends, because like some of the groups can help. Like the only thing I don't like about some of those groups is like they really like post like their own depression and shit like that, instead of like the whole group. Because I don't have time to do like shit that I always want to do with cases. But like you should probably just put a post in there to cheer the whole group up and shit like that. Like instead of because some of them say like say I'm having a bad day. This happened, whatever the case is, blase, but then they're looking for likes, comments, and everything like that. I don't like shit like that. Like
I like when people
like if you say that you have a bad day or something like that, or whatever the case is, say, can someone like please cheer me up, or like someone do like a virtual hug or some shit like that, like simple shit like that.
Yeah, somebody like tell a joke or something.
Yeah, shit like that.
Yeah.
Like just like to cheer people up, and I understand that's probably what. Because I'm not even into Facebook groups like that, but I joined them just in case I go through those hard times. In case is to either express myself or probably see what other people going through, like shit like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, because I don't know how Facebook groups really supposed to work, or the case is. But like that's not what I want to be part of if I am in one of those groups and shit like that. I'd rather be part of the positive shit and not like hear about your negative day. I'd rather cheer you the fuck up somehow, some type of way, or some shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, I can get where like some people, you know, because they'll talk about, you know, their problems or whatever, but usually like people try to, you know, in a good scenario, people will try to like provide some advice or be like, yo, I went through this and this helped me.
But it's also hard to like, type all that shit too, though.
Yeah.
It's just hard to like type that shit. Like
yeah, because like you literally have to like write a damn book.
And probably get lost in context or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Off typing and shit like that. So it's just hard to do that shit in like type of like Facebook groups and shit like that. It's just hard to do shit like that. Yeah, unfortunately. Well, starting again at 3, 2, 1. Believe it or not, I am.
Sometimes.
I think I once was like very unhappy and very dark on the inside, and I always portrayed being that friendly, outgoing person. Now I'm genuinely happy on the inside because I've worked so hard, equally as hard as I do on my physical fitness with my mental health.
And being happy to me is feeling at one with yourself, which is sometimes just being alone, which is okay. And I feel like people make that like, oh, you're alone all the time, you're excluding yourself. No, it's not that. I'm taking that space for myself to get to be happy.
For me, I feel like happiness is a lot of pressure. Like I don't want to measure myself on one emotion. I feel like there's a spectrum of different things you can feel. You can feel upset, you can feel happy, you can feel depressed. And for me, it's just, I don't need to be in a constant state of it. So I think when we talk about happiness, it gets confusing because I think generally we're just saying, are you okay? And to me, that's different.
It really saddens me that I am standing here because I know it will disappoint a lot of people around me because they all want happiness for me. And sometimes I feel like I need to be happy because I need to fulfill those people's wishes. But it's not actually that. It's supposed to be for my own sake. And like it's also like every day I struggle with a lot of things like being trans, being a non-US citizen who is trying to immigrate here, having family issues. So.
And it's okay to not be okay. Like,
yeah,
don't feel like you have to be forced to be happy. It's okay.
And that's the thing, like if you would ask me a month ago, I would have been standing over there with you. It's such a wave, but like the past week, it's been a good week for me. But I mean, a month ago, I would have been right over there.
I don't know if he or she is transitioning to whatever they're transitioning to, but the Asian person, the Korean person. Don't let anyone measure your happiness for you.
That's all about
that's
your
fact number one. Don't let nobody else measure your happiness because your expectation and their expectation may be two totally different expectations. Yeah. Like, you probably get a fucking cookie and that makes your whole fucking week. And they probably get the cookie and say, oh, it's a fucking cookie, crumble it the fuck up and throw it away. Like, don't let anybody else, like, measure your happiness and shit like that. That's all based upon you. It all depends. Your happiness is, like, what you, like, because it's crazy because, like, it's a lot of factors because you can even, like either, we can even go from age, what the case is, because stuff that makes you happy at 16, 17, for the cases, ain't gonna make you happy at 30 probably. Like shit, like it's just certain shit, like, and some people, like, you don't even have to be happy. You could be just like content and like just be good and chill. Like, and I tell people all the time, because a lot of people say that I don't smile enough or smile a lot, whatever the case is. Yeah. And I tell people, like, I got a resting bitch face. I literally do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I've literally had the same face, like resting bitch face, like, for a long time. Like, I think my wife uploaded a prom picture from like 2008. Yeah. And everybody was like, yeah, Clint, what? You still nice smile. The same face, yeah. Like, because I wasn't smiling. I literally had the same face. And like, it's just like a content thing, like, at a certain point in time. Like once you get to understand yourself and shit like that, and like know what you like and like know what kind of makes you happy, whatever the case is, and like if you got everything that pretty much makes you happy and like you're in a safe space and whatever the case is, like, good.
That's why when it comes to pictures and stuff, when people ask me that, why you don't smile? I'm like, I'm smiling on the inside.
All right, I'm good.
I'm good. I don't do that.
It's hard for me to give them fake smile.
That's weird. Yeah.
But yeah, it just all depends.
Yeah,
you just gotta be content with yourself. Like, you gotta know what makes you happy and shit like that.
Like you said, yeah. There's different spectrums of happiness, like that you view. Like, my view of happiness and your view of happiness is like different. It's probably two different things. And just like you said, like the age group, because I'm thinking about like 16-year-old me. Like, my happiest moments was probably like getting OT, making all that damn money and shit. And then, like, you ask older me this, like,
you wanna work overtime? Fuck no.
Like, I like spending time with my family. Yeah. Like, that's happiness. Like, that's happiness to me. Like, you're right about that. Like, people have different periods of what makes them happy.
Exactly. So it just all depends. It's a lot that can go into your happiness. But as long as you, like, once you figure out, like, the simple shit, because it's probably the most simplest shit that makes you happy. Like, my nigga, I can take a nice hot ass shower, find the warmest clothes, my nigga, and just sit. I'm very happy. Like, it's just simple shit like that. Like, I'll be very fucking happy. Like, if my house is clean, if I could walk, my nigga, I cleaned up the crib. Was it last week or the week before last? I'm not sure, my nigga. But I was coming in the house, open the door.
Toys everywhere.
No, because I cleaned up. My nigga, when I say it was just room everywhere, my nigga, because the house was so clean, I was just like, oh, man. Just space. I was just happy walking in the crib and just seeing space everywhere, my nigga. Like, that shit made me happy. Like, I ain't stepping on toys. I ain't stepping on shoes. I ain't tripping over a fucking walker, my nigga. Like, it's just space. I was just like, oh, this is lovely. Like, it's just simple shit that can make me happy, bro. Yeah. So it just all depends on what makes you happy. Once you find out the type of shit that makes you happy, my nigga, like, it's limitless after that. Just like I said, nigga, nice hot shower with some comfy ass clothes. I just sit, my nigga.
Scratch.
Sit and scratch, my nigga, and I'm happy. I'm telling you. Once you figure out what makes you happy, bro, keep that shit. It can be simple. Simple shit make you happy, man. You ain't gotta go spend $1 million and take flights to fucking where the fuck ever to like feel some type of way. You should be able to feel happy like inside your own little bubble, inside your own crib and shit like that. That's all I'm saying.
You mentioning that, I'm thinking about when I used to fall into my like deep depressions, and the one thing that used to pull me out and used to make me happy was just playing MMOs.
Oh yeah.
Like me making characters and shit, and like just fucking like just doing that, like it just relaxed me and like just pulled me out of that shit. And
that's why I don't get why. That's a whole different conversation, but that's why I don't get why they say video games induces violence and shit like that. Like, I would literally go be probably the most pissed off person in the world, turn the video game on, forget about that shit in like 30 minutes to an hour.
You'd be like, all right, now I'm ready to go to sleep.
So, but yeah, that's a whole different conversation at the end of the day. But yeah.
Right.
Start again in 3, 2, 1. It gets better. But wait! There's more. Of course it gets better.
Yeah.
It gets better and worse. It just depends. It's life.
I think in terms of the statement, it gets better, there's kind of a little tagline that comes after it that's, but it does take time. You don't heal right away. Sometimes you're gonna be in that dark place and you have to write it out, and you just have to find that willpower inside yourself. And it's very hard sometimes.
I feel like something that I was told a lot growing up was that it doesn't get better and that life gets worse and all those things. Like, it totally gets better. Everyone was wrong. Take those risks, like have faith in your own abilities, like push yourself as far as you can go. That's what I've been doing for the last 3 years, and it gets better.
I feel like for me, I'm in a position of privilege because it did get better for me. I had access to resources. I had health insurance so I could see a therapist. I have a job, so I have financial stability. I don't think that everyone gets that. I don't think that everyone is dealt the same hand.
I'm on the side of agreement here. I
Situation.
think that time heals all. Earlier I said I wasn't happy, but compared to where I was when I tried to kill myself, tremendously improved. I'm not in that deep, dark state of mind, and I do want to live. I still struggle with it, but I don't want to die.
And I think that's all that matters. Our society is so adamant about, making it a point that, well, you have to get better quickly.
Instant gratification.
Instant gratification, right. You have to get better quickly, or you have to act like you're at least better quickly, and you don't. It's okay to act like you're not okay for that time being. But as long as you get out of it and get there and take your time and do what you need, that's all that matters. Can I get a hug?
That's pretty much it.
Gets better, everyone.
It does. Big group hug.
Big group hug.
It does.
Yeah, it gets better. Yeah, it gets better. But shit, it's life. Cause it gets worse, it gets better. Sometimes it exceeds expectations. Sometimes it goes to the lowest of the lows. It's life. I mean, like, ain't shit you can do about it. You either gonna live it or you gonna just let it kick you around, what the case is. It's just life though, shit. Yeah, it always has a chance to get better. It just all depends on how you put yourself into that situation. Pretty much. But yeah. Shout out my boy Dion Winters. R.I.P. to him. I want to shout him out. That was the first person that I actually had close to me that killed himself, suicide. Yeah, I went to school with him. But yeah, that was a minute ago too. That was like an 08, 09. Probably. But yeah. Good?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, so that was the last little sad joint. I didn't want to end on that.
Yeah.
So we got that out the way. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bizzle.
Boom, boom.
And make sure to follow us all social media networks, DADS Podcast, every Twitter, 2 Dads with Dreads.
Dreads.
And if you enjoyed this video, once again, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that bell. Ding, ding, bitches.
Yeah, follow us on all
Ding,
our social medias.
dings. All our social medias.
And we have a Discord now, so
Check the description for that joint.
yeah.
And DADS Podcast every single day, every single week. We out this bitch. Deuces.